No.
Nothing too crazy. Echo it is. Marvel's Echo released Friday. All 5 episodes released on Disney Plus and Hulu at the same time. Gentlemen, what did you guys think of it?
Who wants to go? Should I?
Go ahead, Pete.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. It's only 5 episodes, so it went really quick. I love the fact that this is the first, I think, Marvel project that was MA, like
Yes.
TV MA. Uh, it really felt like you're watching the Netflix Marvel shows like Daredevil and Punisher. Like, I don't
So
think it's
was
like,
it the first that was MA, considering something became canon?
Well,
well,
the whole series became that
Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, let's not. Yeah, let's talk about that later. I mean, it's not necessarily Marvel did not really make. I'm saying Disney did not really make those shows.
Yeah.
This is the first Disney like made show that is actually TVMA, which is pretty cool. Um, there were some violent scenes. Definitely felt like you're watching Daredevil or Punisher on Netflix. I mean, it was pretty gritty, pretty violent. I like the fact that it also felt. I think to me, Disney's getting better on making TV shows. Like it seems to me like the first couple years, kind of a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed really episodic. Now it's feeling more like
Like
you're having a nice,
cohesive story.
yeah, you have more ensemble cast, a more cohesive story. Like it's like you're going from one episode to another, telling this,
Yeah. You build into
we're
something, kind of a thing.
building something exactly. Something that I feel like they haven't really done well in previous Marvel shows or just Disney shows in general. Because I feel like the same with Star Wars TV shows. This one actually felt like that. Like you got a nice ensemble cast. You had a good, you're building something good, story that was getting built during the season. Even those 5 episodes still was a pretty cool story you're getting being built. Um, wasn't too crazy about the last one episode. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about like I thought it was a little bit plot armor where like spoiler alert if anybody's watching it if you want to watch this. In the last episode, of course, Kingpin ends up like taking her family hostage and practically has his own army ready to kill her tribe or people and all that, and somehow everybody escapes unscathed. And I felt like you know, that's plot armor right there because I feel like if really in real life, I think somebody would have been killed. Like either
Yeah.
one of her family members or people would have been hurt. Like it just seemed too much like plot armor. That's my only complaint. I think that and the power definitely was
That
kind of
that
strange to me.
that whole power aspect thing is where it lost me.
Yeah,
I was just like, this is so grounded. This is pretty cool. This is pretty interesting. And then all of a sudden, powers. I was like, okay, now I'm done.
yeah,
You
yeah.
lost me.
Agree with you because I like the fact the whole show is very grounded throughout the whole. Like every episode felt grounded. Every episode felt like okay, this could really happen. Now I get it. It's in the Marvel universe. I get it. So we're talking about all these superheroes and all these powers and all these things that exist in this world.
It just felt like
I
it didn't. It felt like it didn't fit.
yeah, I felt like she didn't need to. They need to go with her character. I felt like our writer character was interesting without having these unique powers that she had, because it just felt weird to me. Because it felt like, okay, she's using all these martial arts skills. She's also, and in the comic books, she has like this photographic memory where she can, copy anybody's fighting styles and things like
Kind of
that.
like a
So that's
taskmaster in a way.
yeah, it's like Taskmaster, exactly like that character. Like so, I was really, I kind of like that, especially because she's deaf. So instead of like, she uses her eyesight as a way of like,
Right.
helping herself out, overcome things. That's another thing too. I was kind of weird the fact that I felt like in Hawkeye, when you get introduced to her, you kind of see that, right? Her being, like having that photographic memory,
Yeah.
even reading lips. But throughout the whole thing, she had a hard time even reading lips and all that. Like I thought that she could do that really well, like read lips, because like
I thought
even
so
with
too.
with Kingpin, he did the whole sign language thing. But I mean, I thought she doesn't need to, like everybody was kind of like she's just looking at people like it's all silent and she doesn't know what's going on. But then she needs sign language enough to understand what's like to communicate.
Wasn't it so Kingpin could understand?
No, yes, but like you notice though, like when she's like when people are talking, she can't comprehend what they're saying. Like she kind of seems lost. Like I felt like she couldn't read lips.
She had
They
like
didn't
a
really.
lost face on her, like, but everyone else
Yeah,
was signing to her, and then
exactly.
like even though the fact like she could read lips, but like
Yeah.
everybody was literally signing to her, and even with the fact the whole Kingpin eye thing, which was actually pretty interesting invention. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was actually pretty
Yeah.
cool. And
was
him
cool.
him talking and then doing the sign language, then was like, okay, so what's the point of you showing me in the Hawkeye that she could read lips and didn't really need.
That's what I'm saying though. It felt like they. That's one thing I always feel they do bad, and they're not really connecting everything really well. They tend to do something without it having any reference to the old show or the previous stuff, and be like, "This is kind of like what happened in this."
But and that's the thing. They reference Hawkeye and they still messed it up.
Because I think they're so like I get it. She's a deaf character. I understand, like sign language, and they did a great job with the sign language throughout the whole.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact they represented her culture. They did a great job with that.
Yeah.
I thought like it wasn't stereotypes. Some they didn't do no racial stereotypes of the Native Americans. They actually showed a really normal group of people who still like represent their culture very well. To
Yeah.
feel like modern people who represent their culture. I love that. That was great. That's the way you should do it. I feel like if you're gonna do that, do it right. Do it like in the way where like you're not trying to do some stereotypical stuff and all. It felt natural, felt real.
Yeah.
And that's the best, And it didn't feel forced too, which I like. It did not feel forced whatsoever. I just felt like they didn't need that aspect. I felt like the show was great. Yes, that the show shouldn't have been like, you already have their culture being represented. You don't need to kind of go back to, oh, well, she's like has all these people who are like
Echoing through her and
echoing through her. You don't need to be. That to me was a little bit too much. I thought like, but I said everything about the show. Besides that, was very good.
Yeah.
The action scenes the fighting scenes are great. The gritty drama, the drama's great with her and her family. Very good, well done. Felt like a gritty, violent show, which I love. And Kingpin, of course, is on a great
I thought
villain.
the soundtrack was really good too.
It was. I agree. The soundtrack is great.
Yeah. Scene, Daredevil fight scene was fantastic. The fight scene at the roller rink was freaking awesome.
Good camera work, also very good. Cinematography. There's a lot of things, but I think sometimes with Marvel, more like less is more.
The train scene was cool too.
It was, but less is more sometimes. Less is more. Remember that, because sometimes you don't need to go all out. You don't need to have superpowers. You need to have all these other things about it. Less is more. The more grounded it is, sometimes it's the better, because especially when you're introducing this type of world, the more of the vigilante world, like that's what we want to see. If you can do that with Daredevil, that'd be great. You need to go to that other, like, oh, well, she has these powers and she has these things and her family background. I'm already interested in her family, not the history of the, but I'm interested in her family and how, like I said, they still represent their people. They still, do their culture.
right.
But in like I said, you understand their culture without having to feel like, hey, let's, because even like I remember the first episode, that whole like alien kind of thing. I'm like, am I watching the right show? Is this Echo?
Yeah, that like said that question was like, let me pause this real quick. You're like, oh yeah, this is Echo.
I'm like, is this Echo? What is going on with this alien thing coming out of whatever? And then I'm like, okay, I now I get it. It's a Native American woman. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, this is Echo. But I'm like, what is this? This is so weird, you know. I was kind of taken aback by it. But like I said, overall, definitely a good start. If this is what they're gonna do, I just think that Marvel needs to tone it down. Stop doing too much stuff. You don't need all this other extra crap. You know,
Yeah.
let's cut the fat. Let's go back to the basics and just go from there.
Yeah.
I think like and then going back to your whole now the Netflix Marvel TV shows are canon.
Yeah.
The reason why is because supposedly when they're filming Daredevil, the TV show, the first 4 episodes are pretty much Matt Murdock being a lawyer and not even like donning the Daredevil suit. The whole first episodes was just that. It was also very episodic too, the TV series. So they have to scrap all that and went back to the whole. Well, what made Daredevil TV series on Netflix so popular? Oh, let's the gritty action scenes, the fight scenes, things like that. So they went back to that. So I'm like, I think
going back to Foggy Nelson and Karen Page.
yes, I'm happy they did that. The only thing that concerns me, if everything is canon, I mean, are they doing the whole Danny Rand storyline and the Defenders? Because that kind of stunk. The Defenders kind of stunk.
That might have, but Colleen Wigg's awesome.
Colleen Wing was awesome. I hated what they did with the hand. I thought the hand was awesome until Defenders, because the hand is supposed to be a Japanese organization.
Like the Foot?
Yes, like the Foot Clan. And they completely went different. Like Sigourney Weaver was in charge of it, and so freaking weird, the whole thing. Like I didn't understand what they were doing. It was very weird. So is that canon now? Because I'd rather them not. If they're gonna introduce a hand again, I'd love to be just a Japanese ninja organization. That's what I want to
That's
see.
probably what it ended up being.
Hopefully.
That's probably what it ended up being.
Anyways, I said my piece. You can guys go right ahead and tell me what you think.
I agree with everything you said. It did lose me with the magic, and I was like, "This is very It didn't feel like very unnecessary, but it felt like everything was great up until the magic. That's where it kind of like lost me, and I was like, "Okay."
It was just weird too because like she did something to Kingpin, and like whatever took his pain away and all that, and then just Kingpin was like, "What did you do to me?" And then he just leaves.
Why do you do me like this?
And then he just leaves, and you're like, "That's it?" I mean, he just leaves, and you're like,
Yeah, that was kind of weird because it didn't really explain what happened.
"Yeah, it didn't explain what happened. He just leaves, and
Where's
they
my
just
wife, Vanessa. Where is she?
Yeah. Like it's just kind of like, wait a minute. So you have all your goons in there. Yeah, at least like I mean, they must have had at least 100 guys in there, all armed to the teeth.
Yep.
And
But then that scene felt like Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder, where like everyone got powers. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
The grandma has powers, the cousin that has powers.
It was like, okay, all right.
But they've always had powers.
Yeah,
she was
I don't know.
able to awaken them with her. She was able to echo.
No, she actually explained it in one of the earlier episodes when they were talking at the table that the powers come at the time of need from the ancestors.
But
like they can't control them; they only happen when it's like they're in a time of need.
That didn't happen when the dad got killed. Didn't come in time of need when the dad got killed. When the mom was in a car accident, didn't come in time of need.
No, it did happen when the mom was in the car accident.
But like, what about the dad?
She saved Echo.
Saved Echo. Yes, I understand that. Came in time of need to save Echo, but Echo didn't remember, I guess. And then, what happened with Dad? Dad got killed.
What dad?
Her dad.
Her dad.
Who, Echo's dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
She wasn't getting the powers then, and probably the ancestors hated her dad because he got the mom killed. The dad wasn't in the bloodline. The bloodline was the females.
Is it just the females?
Yeah, it was just the females. Because she was like the first like was like she was like the first warrior, like like the original one that came out of the cave,
Okay.
and then it went to the females, like all the generations of females.
I don't know, man. I still kind of like. I still feel like it's very weird. The whole like. It doesn't.
It's different because of how grounded the series is. I agree with you on that.
It's unnecessary.
But
it was unnecessary because it didn't. It's not like.
I also it is a little confusing, but I also don't want them to have to explain everything in every last detail. Like I kind of want something like mystic about it.
It's fine, but I just feel it was unnecessary because like it felt like the show itself was very good without it. Like
I do think at the end though she should have had to choose between who to save.
yeah, well that's another thing too. I feel like the biggest. I gotta admit though, like I think like season 2 Loki was great because to me that's how you should do a TV show, right? Where a character feels some loss in the in the end, right? Like you don't get that happy ending with Loki.
Yeah, but Loki's not technically dead either. He's just holding together the timeline.
But I mean, he really doesn't like. I mean, the fact that he's gonna be there for eternity.
Now Kang's probably dead in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Well, now he is. At least Jonathan Majors King. We don't know if there's gonna be another one.
There'll be a different Kang.
But I'm saying though, like I feel like that show you actually got an ending where you're like, oh, that sucks for him. But I mean, it's cool, but it also sucks.
Yeah,
it was like a wrapped up ending. This one is just like, I'm not even sure.
but I also don't think this is the last time we see Echo.
No, it's not. But I'm also don't think like, I don't even know where we're going from here. This is.
Oh, it's still gonna be with Kingpin. He's probably gonna blame her for messing with his like inner like self, like taking away his memories and stuff.
You took away my memories.
Or doing whatever she did.
I don't know who I am anymore.
I do
I
really
love Vanessa anymore.
I do like the fact that he ends like that the end credit scene where he's like on his plane and like discussing with one of his associates like, oh, we need to do something, we need to kind of talk to her, like, and then like he looks at like a TV and all that, and somebody's talking about the like, well, oh, it should be the next mayor, oh, it should be somebody who's not a politician. I love that too. It's like saying someone who's tough, someone can take punches and give it right back, and does, and then he's always yes. I actually that would be. If he can be mayor of New York and they continue that storyline, like they maybe they do a new TV series when they do Daredevil, when the TV series of Daredevil comes out and he's a mayor of New York, or maybe in the next Spider-Man movie, or maybe the next Punisher TV series, and Kingpin's a mayor of New York. That'd be pretty awesome because with all that power that Kingpin will have as mayor, all these vigilantes will be public enemy number one. You know what I'm saying? They'll be on the like he has all the police officers at his disposal to get Spider-Man and Daredevil and Punisher.
There could be on the hit list.
And Luke Cage, bring him back.
And Luke Cage,
Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Get them all.
I think that'll be pretty awesome in a storyline if they can do it right. No, like I said, I don't hate it, and I just feel like my thing is for me, if Marvel is gonna get me back to being a fan again, you have to do something that feels interesting, grounded, and also take chances. Do something that actually like I've always felt Marvel the first couple of phases, they had no problem killing a major character off, or at least make the story kind of
killing the character off just to bring him back at a later time.
Like who?
Like Red Skull, like Bucky Barnes, like. You want me to keep going?
I mean, like almost like every single villain in the freaking universe. Every villain needs to have a backstory. Every villain needs to have a freaking or is just misunderstood. I'm
Yeah, they
really
need to have a redemption arc.
yeah, I'm really tired of that.
Yeah, I just want somebody that's evil.
Yeah.
Like freaking what's his name? High evolutionary. Just be freaking evil. I don't give a damn about your story. Just be evil.
Oh, and he's to me, he's one of the. If not the best villain, like when it comes to most hated. Yeah, I think he is the most hated villain on the MCU. I can't think of anybody worse than him. Like the thing with Kingpin, though, you know, I mean, he's a pretty bad villain, but you kind of sympathize with him because of his childhood. Even
Yeah.
Thanos has,
It's
Thanos has
you
good
just-
reason.
You have to reason with him. You have to like,
Yeah.
oh, child, you're just misunderstood. I am so sorry.
Yes.
No, just be freaking evil and just be like, you know what? I'm killing people. Or
Yeah.
you know, I'm snapping my fingers and half the universe disappears, and I don't really care. And you want to stop me? Try it. That's all I want. Anthony, real quick, what are your thoughts
Yes.
on Echo?
Best Marvel TV show yet, I thought. Not like including the Netflix ones, but Disney Plus TV show.
Even better than Hawkeye?
Yeah, I liked it better
You
in
know,
Hawkeye.
I'll be honest, I think Hawkeye's the best now because the fact that I did not care for Hawkeye in the end because I thought they killed the Kingpin. I thought that's
Bro, we know they didn't kill Kingpin. Stop. You didn't have to
about
see
that?
it.
Dude, they've
I-
wasted.
I didn't think they were going to do that.
Yeah, I didn't think they would either.
I don't think so either, but you never know. I felt like
I
they could
would
have been,
say you just like the dance scene at the end, Pete.
that was stupid.
Oh, the musical?
But no, I would say probably if I had to like go in order, I would probably say mine is I'd probably say Echo. I have like Miss Marvel and Hawkeye would probably be my second and third. I don't know which order I'd put them in.
Okay.
Then I'd probably say Loki season 2 and then WandaVision and then the rest are just whatever. They're there.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I just get really annoyed with the Captain or the Falcon and Winter Soldier one because I like dude the ending with US US agent or whatever is so annoying. Like it's so annoying.
it's annoying because he was a good villain.
Yeah, and they're like, why does he have to be a good guy at the end again? Like, it's exactly what you said, Chris.
I know. I know.
That's the most annoying part about that whole entire because that was a good season, and then you have that crap.
Yeah.
Like he was turned out to be a really good villain, and it kind of like wasted that. They wasted the
What
whole.
other TV shows did they have?
She-Hulk.
No.
I think that's the worst show.
Probably. Even though it's the one show that answered your question about the Eternals, Chris.
Yeah. It's the only
The
show.
hand. It's the only show.
It's the only show, the only reference to the whole freaking universe.
That's the only Marvel TV show where I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm not
You
gonna.
know what? I do need to go back and watch stuff like Hawkeye though, because I'll be honest with you, like when I went back and watched WandaVision like straight through,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it more than I watched it the first time. Still had some issues with the end,
Yeah.
but definitely enjoyed it more like watching it straight through. I think that's why I like Echo, because I was able to just like watch it straight through.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wait every week for another episode. I think like that like really takes me out of the shows because like, but like when you have like 8 episodes, it's like 2 months later since I started the original
Right.
show.
Now, okay. See, I did like Miss Marvel, but I like Falcon and Winter Soldier more, even though the ending kind of.
See, I like that show. I liked a lot of the down to earth stuff between him and his sister that they were like discussing. I like that because like that stuff you don't really hear. It's like, well, what are there's no off season for a superhero, right? Like
Yeah.
you got real world problems still. I like that part of it.
I didn't care for the Slack Smashers. I thought that was kind of like you try to make.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the. Well, that's like, and that's probably why I didn't like Secret Invasion that much either, because I felt
Oh
like
yeah, totally.
that was
You know
kind
what?
of.
You know what? You know what? I forgot about that shit. That might be the worst, actually. Secret Invasion was pretty bad. Like
Yeah.
that whole, oh man, that was pretty bad. Like the whole, it started off really good, and then they kind of went downhill.
Oh, the first episode was, but that's like their MO, dude. Like their
Yeah.
first episode's always freaking great.
Yeah,
Every show has a great first
Echo.
episode.
Let's bring in
Yeah.
freaking Daredevil for 6 minutes for like a no for like a one shot scene.
yeah.
And like after that, nope, he's gone.
You know, and that's a shame too, because I would love to see him kind of like in the end, like Daredevil, like maybe pop up, or
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have done it, but I'm saying though that would have been cool if they can pull that off, right?
Right.
But instead, like it's like, oh man, come on, it's just like it's like the little
Yeah,
tease.
yeah. Moon Knight was another one.
Damn.
Moon Knight, it had like one awesome episode, and then after that, it just never really like that really cool episode when you thought he was like all crazy and all that.
But he was actually, that was the end.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But
I
it's
just-
just
The one thing I gotta say, like I did really like about Moon Knight is I thought that it had really great cinematography in it.
yes,
It did.
But story wise, nah, it's lacking.
And Oscar Isaac was such a good actor. He
Yeah,
had such a great
he was.
performance. Yeah, like
So so the next couple shows we have are Agatha Darkhold Diaries, Eyes of Wakanda, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Is that a cartoon?
Yes,
I think it's a cartoon. Yes.
freshman year.
What? It's called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
But they changed it from freshman year to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
So it's Peter Parker's origin stories in the early days using the Spider-Man persona are explored while Norman Osborn becomes his mentor.
Yeah.
Wait, but is Norman Osborn even in the MCU?
No.
Like that doesn't even make any sense. So is it not?
It's like X-Men '97 since they're
Okay,
doing it.
it's set in an alternate reality
Yeah.
from the main MCU
Yeah.
continuity.
So it's kind of like the X-Men '97 new season.
Charlie Cox voices Matt Murdock, reprising the role from the previous MCU media. The series also features Osborn and Otto Octavius, following the appearance of other versions of characters in Spider-Man: No Way Home, along with Scorpion and Doctor Strange from prior MCU media, and Nico Minoru, who appeared in The Runaways.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting. Then you have Marvel Zombies, Daredevil Born Again.
Next
Is that
year.
coming out this year, Ann, or is it next year?
Next year.
Next year, and
If
it's
not-
also going to be released in 2 9-part episodes. So that's going to do like one season, but like part 1, part 2.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, 2025, and then Ironheart.
That shame they got pushed back so much. God bless.
And then the future is Wonder Man. They've already renewed Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for a second season.
Yep.
Untitled Nova series.
And
What If?
season 3?
And then Vision Quest. And there's one on here that they didn't mention. Did it get canceled? They were supposed to do a Shang-Chi TV show, weren't they?
They were.
Did that get canceled?
I think. I don't know. I think that's up in the air at the moment.
Interesting. I also wanted to mention, because we were talking about all the Marvel TV stuff and Disney Plus stuff. I thought both of their specials were really good, as well. The one with One Night, Werewolf by Night, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
I thought both of them were really
Yeah,
good.
they were really good. I agree with you.
So
I enjoyed those.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. It's funny too because I didn't think I was gonna like Werewolf by Night, and I watched, and I'm like,
yeah,
wow.
I never watched the color version of it, and I don't know if I would like it.
No, I
like
Stick-
it
stick
as
it
the
to-
original
yeah,
vision.
stick
Yeah,
with the original
black and
version
white.
and leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, plus it I don't know, it felt special. Like it felt
Yeah.
different and special. Like I feel like it'd just be like any other Marvel property if it was
Didn't
like
the
in
end,
color.
like, wait a minute, didn't the end it's kind of like Wizard of Oz where they color?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was, and it kind of ruins the whole that whole moment.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so